Hey there, pirates! Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Luffy has become a very important figure in the world of One Piece, being the protagonist with a great ambition to find the world's greatest treasure and officially become the Pirate King. But that's not what I'm talking about here. Rather, it's the fact that he has become the sun god Nika, an extremely important deity for all cultures in the world. In today's video, we will talk about the great importance of the sun god to the giants, and how they will act after discovering that Luffy is the new Nika and that he is now in Elbaf. Click the like button, give a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. After that, you can comment on what power you would like to gain. Devil Fruit, Santoryu, or something else. Comment. You're super fortum, bro! I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible Devil Fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, as we saw in chapter 1127 of the One Piece manga, we got confirmation that the Straw Hat Pirates have finally arrived in Elbaf, the island of the giants. This came with a grand adventure, literally massive, where the Straw Hats seem to be trapped in a gigantic castle with dollhouse-like architecture, possibly belonging to a giant child. We notice the floor is made of Lego. At the same time, we see that the creatures in Elbaf are also giants, like a massive animal known as the God of the Ear, who decided to attack the Straw Hats and was quickly defeated by the monster trio. It's important to mention these events from the chapter because we see the relationship between the citizens of Elbaf and gods and their importance. We still don't know why that gigantic feline is considered the God of the Ear, or if it is truly viewed as a worshipped deity. After all, when it was mentioned, the giants only questioned what could harm a rabbit of that size, and they weren't offended or fearful of the attack on the rabbit. This is different when we talk about the great god of Elbaf. So now let's dive into a deep study of the great god of Elbaf. The mysticism surrounding Elbaf, the island of the giants, extends to their deep belief in a revered god, a supreme being who, according to the giants, arbitrates disputes and decides the fate of those seeking justice. This belief in a transcendental being is rooted in tradition and honor, which the giants greatly value. The giant village follows a unique rule when confronted with unresolved disputes among its inhabitants. If neither side yields, those involved are compelled to seek divine judgment through battle. This battle, a quest for the verdict of Elbaf's gods, is considered an infallible method of determining the truth and therefore a way to maintain justice within the giant community. The reference to the Winter Solstice Festival highlights the importance of the giant's god in key moments of the community's life. Before this festival, a traditional meal of semla is held, symbolizing preparation and nourishment for the events that follow. During the festival, the giants fast for 12 days, drinking only water as part of a tradition that expresses gratitude to the sun. Now you're starting to understand why we're talking about the deity worshipped by the giants. There are indications suggesting that they believe the god of the Elbaf giants may be associated with the sun itself. The belief that the god protects those who are right and allows them to live evokes an image of divine justice, something many cultures attribute to the sun, a source of light, life, and truth. The connection between the god and the sun is reinforced by the event in which Carmel, who at the time possessed the Soru no Mi, invoked the sun god to extinguish the flames that were burning the village. On that day, the village had been set on fire by Charlotte Linlin, who would later become Big Mom. And Carmel, the previous user of the fruit popularized by Linlin, used a fragment of her own soul to create a homie in the shape of the sun called Pandora. On that day, the giants fell into despair. For many, the sun god was before them. This association leads to speculation that the god worshipped by the giants might be the same god worshipped in other parts of the world. Nika, the sun god. The possibility of Nika being the deity of these giants is very high. This possibility could be a crucial element in understanding the giant's god and strengthen his connection with Luffy. Although the narrative does not provide explicit details about Nika and his relationship with Elbaf, everything points to Luffy having become the god worshipped by the giants. As I mentioned at the beginning of on that day, the giants fell into despair. For many, the sun god was before them. This association leads to speculation that the god worshipped by the giants might be the same god worshipped in other parts of the world. Nika, the sun god. The possibility of Nika being the deity of these giants is very high. This possibility could be a crucial element in understanding the giant's god and strengthen his connection with Luffy. Although the narrative does not provide explicit details about Nika and his relationship with Elbaf, everything points to Luffy having become the god worshipped by the giants. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Elbaf, in addition to being a kingdom of formidable giants, is also a kingdom of fervent devotion, where the inhabitants believe that justice is determined by the gods, and the god of the giants, possibly the sun god or Nika, occupies a central place in their faith and honor. And then we would have the revelation revelation that Nika's fruit is currently in Luffy's hands, which would create a connection between the protagonist and the giants. However, this shouldn't bring immediate reactions during Luffy's introduction, as it seems that the giants do not know the appearance of the sun god. I believe this because they thought flames brought to life in the shape of a sun by a devil fruit were the sun god, and for this reason, I believe that even in Elbaf, where faith is stronger than anywhere else in the world of One Piece, part of Nika's story has also been lost. Thus, the vast majority of giants do not know the true appearance attributed to Nika, the appearance that Luffy now possesses when using the powers of the Hito no Mi awakening. At the same time, most of this information should be revealed to us on that island. Thus, the mystery surrounding Nika and his connection with Luffy promises to unfold throughout the journey, revealing secrets that may redefine not only the course of history, but also the very meaning of wielding the power of that deity. The captain of the Straw Hat Pirates has unwittingly become the bearer of the sun god's power, of being worshipped for generations by the giants as Nika. The complexity of the situation is heightened by the mutual lack of awareness between Luffy and the giants. While the 5 elders and potentially a few others are already aware of Luffy's designation as Nika, Luffy himself remains unaware of this divine connection even after his encounters with Bonnie and Vegapunk. Luffy still doesn't know the magnitude of the responsibility and weight that comes with becoming a god. In fact, he doesn't even perceive himself as one. Likewise, the inhabitants of Elbaf continue to worship their sun god without realizing that possibly the object of their veneration is present in the form of the Straw Hat captain. The unexplored drama of this revelation offers significant narrative potential as Luffy, unaware of his divine position, continues his journey alongside the Straw Hats. The giants, in turn, may discover that the being they worship, the sun god Nika, is among them in a form they never imagined, and thus everything would be revealed in Elbaf. So, I think Luffy's story as the sun god is like him being a bright light for people who are stuck in old ideas that no longer make sense. He will not only be seen as a strong and powerful being, but also as someone who helps change the world. When Luffy is recognized on the island of giants as the sun god, he will become a symbol of something much greater, as if he brings a new way of seeing things and helps free people from the mindset they've always had. He's there to show that it's possible to break those invisible chains that hold everyone down, as if saying, hey, you can do things differently. In this case, avoiding battles to the death among the giants and instead encouraging them to fight for mutual benefit against a common enemy, Im-sama. I believe that Luffy's mission in Elbaf is not just about fighting villains and becoming even stronger, but also about changing what people believe and showing that it's possible to do the unexpected. When the giants of Elbaf discover that the sun god is not a powerful fireball, as many might have imagined, but rather Luffy, a man whose true power lies in bringing freedom. I believe this will cause great surprise and admiration among them. Many may have expected the sun god to be a figure capable of controlling fire, burning everything in his path, or protecting against flames. However, what Luffy truly offers is something even deeper. He is a symbol of liberation. Someone who helps people break free from old traditions and ideas that imprison them. The giants of Elbaf, known for their strength and for following ancient traditions, will likely see Luffy as someone who came to change their lives in an unexpected way. Upon realizing that Luffy's true power is not in destruction or physical protection, but in his ability to free minds and hearts, they may find in him an inspiration to break away from the old beliefs that kept them bound. In response, I imagine the giants will celebrate Luffy in a grand and unique way. They wouldn't worship him as a distant and untouchable god, but rather as a close hero, someone with whom they can share feasts and adventures. The celebrations in Elbaf would probably be filled with enormous banquets, music, dancing, and great tournaments in his honor. The giants, with their festive and warrior nature, would see Luffy not just as a liberator, but also as a friend who brought a new light to their lives. Instead of worshiping fire, they might begin to see freedom as the greatest gift Luffy offered them. Perhaps they will create new traditions where the spirit of freedom and adventure is celebrated every year in remembrance of the arrival of the sun god, not as a destructive force, but as a symbol of transformation and renewal for the entire world. But what do you think about this? Comment below. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.